So Dereck Chisora and Joseph Parker will meet this Saturday for their rematch. First time they fought, Joseph Parker won a very controversial decision over 12 rounds. But before we get in the video, please like and subscribe. Would be greatly appreciated. So Dereck Chisora will get his chance for redemption. I thought the first time around he clearly won the fight. Came out swinging in the first round, dropped Joseph Parker in the very first 10 seconds of the first round. Continued to maul, was very aggressive, hurt Joseph Parker on several occasions. In my opinion, swept the first 6 rounds. Started to get tired. Joseph Parker started to come on from round 7 to round 11. And then Chisora came back strong in round 12. In my opinion, clearly winning the fight, 115-112. And one of the judges had Chisora 115-112. One judge had Parker 114-113. But one judge, crazy, had Parker 117-111. How? Like, that's 9 rounds to 3 with no knockdowns. How? I don't get it. Maybe you can argue 114-113 for Parker. Maybe. And that would still be a strong argument. I hate when people say, just because it was a close fight, it's okay that the other guy got it. Okay, it's a close fight, but there were clear rounds won from one guy. So how does it go either way? Why does the judge have to give it to the other guy? I don't get it. I've never got that. Oh, but it was a close fight. Who cares if it was a close fight? One guy got it already. That's it. In NBA, if you win like 100-98, that was a close game. Like, let's say the Lakers beat the Celtics 100-98. But then the NBA commissioner comes out and says, no, you know what? We're going to give that game to the Celtics. How? Lakers only won by 2 points, but they still won it. How? This doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Why does boxing have to go like that? I don't know. Like, you could win by a point or 2 points or 3 points. You should get the fight. Every sport in the world will get it. Like yesterday, the Lakers won. Buzzer beater. They got a buzzer beater over the Mavericks and won by a point. They can't just come out. The referees can't come out and say, you know what? We're going to give that game to the Mavericks because we liked how they were dribbling better. What? But the guy who landed the effective shots were all from Chisora. Just because you liked Parker's movement, you can't just give him the round. I can go rival on for 10 hours, not 10 minutes, if I'm going to just talk about comparing boxing scoring to every other sport in the world, how they score. I can go on for years, not even hours. But yeah, let's get into the breaking down the rematch. I think Chisora, I know when I announced the fight first, I said Parker is probably going to win it. You know what? Chisora's going to win this fight. Because there's one thing that we assume about Parker. We assume that he has hunger or fire in him to win fights. No, Chisora has more fire in him. Chisora is. Even Andy Lee, Parker's trainer, said that Chisora won the fight that last time around. I think Chisora has more balls, has more fire inside him to win this fight. I think he's worked hard because he knows getting another loss, officially or unofficially, is going to hurt his record. Because Dereck Chisora, if you take just a quick look at his career, he does not have 11 losses. He doesn't. Just a quick look at his career. Very quick look. Usyk, watching live, I thought Chisora won that fight. Rewatching it, I clearly thought Usyk won it. So, okay, we're going to leave that as a loss. Dylan White knocked him out. That's a loss. Agate Kabayel, that was a close fight. Could have gone either way, but we're going to give it to Agate Kabayel. Split decision with Dylan White. I thought Chisora clearly won that fight. 115-113. That's what I thought. I thought Chisora won that fight. Against Pulov, that was a very boring fight. I don't remember it clearly. He got stopped by Tyson Fury fair and square. He got stopped by David Haye fair and square. He gave Vitaly Klitschko a very hard fight. I thought he won like at least 4 rounds, but he lost the fight. But Robert Helenius. Let's just talk about Robert Helenius. He dominated Robert Helenius, hurt him badly several times. It was a split decision. One just gave it to Chisora 115-113. Two just gave it to Helenius 115-113. I don't know how. And the Tyson Fury fight, that fight could have gone either way. So now let's leave the fights like Tyson Fury or Usyk that could have gone either way. Let's leave them to the side. And the Agate Kabayel fight. Let's leave them all to the side where if it was the other way around, it's always Chisora just never gets to fight the close fights. You've never seen Chisora win by robbery decision ever in your life. But let's leave those 3 fights on the side. He beat Helenius Parker and White, clearly, in my opinion. Clearly. And if you want to give him those fights, the 50-50 fights, that's another 3 more wins. But let's not give him. Let's put those on the side. He should have a record of 35-8. If we give him the close fights, he should have a record of 36-5. You see what I mean? You see how the judges rob people out of careers? Everyone's saying Chisora's washed up because they see double-digit losses on his resume. But he shouldn't have those double-digit losses. I think, though, Chisora this time around will get the decision fair and square. You know why? Because he has a stronger management team behind him. This time around, it's not David Haye, who has a lot of enemies in boxing. This time, it's Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's management is managing Dereck Chisora. I think Dereck Chisora, though, shouldn't go for broke like I did last time. He shouldn't. I think, in my opinion, he should box Parker more. Kind of like how he fought Usyk. Jab, move, be aggressive at times, but also jab at times. Come to the jab, go to southpaw at times. Because he fought Usyk beautifully when he was a southpaw. Beautifully. So I think he should do that. For Parker, I think he should just be on his bicycle from round 1. Make this a boring fight. Don't want Chisora in this fight, and he could win this fight. Now let's discuss the undercard of this fight. Especially, we got Alan Babbage fighting this fight. He's fighting a guy with a record of 11 wins, 7 losses, 3 draws. So we can assume Babbage is going to win this fight. So let's not talk about Babbage too much, even though the Savage is one of my favorite fighters in boxing right now. But let's put that on the side for a minute. Let's talk about Lerrone Richards versus Carlos Gongora. Lerrone Richards, I've made a video before where I spoke very highly of Richards. I said this guy, he does not punch as soft as you guys think. Because if he did, his opponents would just go through his punches and attack him. He only has 3 knockouts. And I believe 18 fights. I'm not sure though. I believe 18 fights. Don't quote me on this. Give me a second. I'm going through BoxRec right now. Let's go. They'll show this Parker event. Lerrone Richards. 15 wins, no losses, 3 knockouts. He already beat former WBA champion, Giovanni De Carlos in his last fight. Won every round. Picked up the European title. He beat fellow prospect Lennox Clark. I thought that he beat him clearly when he won the British title off him, but officially, it's a split decision. He absolutely schooled Tommy Langford. But yeah, Lerrone Richards, I'm very high on him. He's a southpaw. He's 5'11", 71-inch reach. But guess what? I'm very high on Gongora as well. He's also a southpaw, a bit taller, a bit longer, has a big longer reach. I'm high on both fighters. I got Gongora right now in the top 5 in the super middleweight division. People are going to be like, what are you, crazy? What's wrong with you? Why is Gongora in the top 5? Hear me out first. Let me just throw my top 10 super middleweights at you guys real quick. Number 1, of course, the undisputed champion, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Number 2, of course, not also for argument, David Benavidez. I got John Ryder at number 3, even though he's moving up to light heavyweight. So I'm going to have to fix that soon. But for argument's sake, let's just keep John Ryder at number 3. Number 4, Carlos Gongora. I got him number 4. Number 5, Caleb Plant. Number 6, Anthony Durrell. Number 7, Danny Jacobs, who's also moving up to light heavyweight. He needs to be removed as well. Number 8, Billy Joe Sanders. Number 9, David Morrell. And number 10, Fedor Chudinov. That's my top 10. So, Carlos Gongora for me, if we move John Ryder, he's the 3rd best super middleweight right now. Super middleweight division is not a deep division. As you guys see, not that deep. But I think Carlos Gongora would even give Canelo Alvarez some tricky moments in that fight. Of course, I'd be picking Canelo to win that fight. But Carlos Gongora is a fantastic, fantastic fighter. I was shocked when they pitched the Lerrone Richards fight versus Carlos Gongora. Absolutely shocked. They're putting Richards in the deep waters already, and they want to see if he can swim or not. Let's see. It's a very interesting fight. I think I'm going to have to edge it to Gongora. But, man, as you guys know, I'm very high on Richards. I think he could do a lot of big stuff in the super middleweight division. Let's see. I'll be definitely rooting for him. But I'm going to have to pick Gongora to win this one. And then there was a fight that was supposed to happen on that card, but sadly we're not getting it. Joshua Buatsi versus Maxim Vlasov. That fight would have been beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Joshua Buatsi is not yet in my top 10. But if he would have beat Maxim Vlasov, that shoots him in the top 5. Because I got Vlasov at 5 right now. I thought he clearly beat Joe Smith Jr. That would have shot him in the top 3 maybe. Right behind Beterbiev and Bivol. But I think Eddie Hearn got cold feet after Kiko Martinez knocked out Kid Galahad. I think he got cold feet. He didn't want to pitch both of his prospects in. I thought Buatsi could have beat Vlasov. Everyone was saying Vlasov was going to dominate Buatsi. I thought Buatsi, if he has the goods, he would have beat Vlasov, in my opinion. So, officially right now, I'm taking Chisora to win by decision and Gongora to win by decision. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you guys have winning these two fights? Like and subscribe. It would really appreciate it. Sadiq Boxing out.